Hello my friends, and welcome back to the rabbit hole. Today I'm going to be tackling that topic that I've been asked about very many times, and that is, how can you build a more affordable skincare routine? What are some cheap skincare options? I've officially been testing skincare products for a total of 2 years, and something that I've noticed, and it does kind of give me a lot of inner conflict, is that a lot of times I'll see the same ingredients over and over and over again in mid-range, high-end skincare products and realize those ingredients are also in products at the drugstore. So it's created this kind of difficulty for me, and that I do recognize that not everybody has the same budget for skincare. I also recognize that you don't need to be using only high-end products. There are plenty of ways to sculpt a beautiful skincare routine for way less money. And I apologize for my voice. If you can't tell, I'm still a little sick. I'm trying to find the optimism at this point of my cold, where you're like, okay, well, I know I sound like I've been smoking for more years than I've been alive, but I guess you don't experience that every day, right? Okay, so let's get into the actual content of this video. Now, I was thinking about the different approaches to making this style of a video, and you can very easily list a whole bunch of your favorite products, but the problem with that is that's still playing on your own personal preferences, your biases to some extent. And, there's always going to be somebody in the comment section somebody who agrees with you and says, yes, that's a holy grail for me, and somebody else who says, oh no, that product doesn't work for me. So I thought, okay, rather than just tell you, maybe it's best to attempt to teach you. They say you can feed a man once or you can teach him to fish. I am neither a man, nor do I enjoy fishing in the slightest. It's very boring. But you feel me. You understand where I'm going with this. This is a bit of a difficult task in some ways because I'm essentially saying welcome to my lecture, but we're going to do our best. So I'm going to divide this video up into two main ways to sculpt your own skincare routine. The first being completely and utterly from scratch. Now, the most important thing for you to know about this is that if you're doing this, you're going to need to do some research. There's almost this joke in the skincare world where somebody gets excited about finding skincare and buys the entirety of the Ordinary skincare line because it's all inexpensive. You can buy the whole thing for what, $100? And then they post their haul on Instagram and ask, does anyone know what to do with all of this? And the more seasoned skincare users pop in and say, yeah, return 75% of that to the store before you give yourself a chemical burn. There are people in jail for giving their former lovers chemical burns, and you are electing to do it to your own face, Karen. But the truth is, that's 99% of skincare right there, is understanding what you're using, understanding how to use it, and the only way that you can really learn that is to sit down and learn it. So, I genuinely recommend sit down in front of Google, think about what your skincare goals are, what your concerns are, and start typing them in, and never, ever stop at one source, because that's how you end up taking a biased opinion as fact. You've got to take all of these multiple opinions, combine them together, and form ultimately your own opinion as well. So yes, don't even take my videos or any other videos on YouTube as the skincare gospel. We're all sharing with you a piece of our own puzzles versus the truth of skincare. Is there ever a universal truth? I don't know. Let's not make this philosophical too. And I really don't want to sit here and pretend like this is incredibly easy, because it's not. You're going to find conflicting opinions. You're going to have to figure out what to do with the conflicting information that you have, but you'll also start to figure things out. The world of skincare will, stop being so mysterious, and you'll start to have things click for you. You'll say, oh, okay, so that's what niacinamide does. Okay, so that's what this ingredient will do for my skin. And then as you start to understand those ingredients, you can approach brands like The Ordinary, look at the product names, look at the ingredient list, and understand what that product does and where you can incorporate it into your routine if you even need it, because genuinely, you don't need every product from The Ordinary. I'm going to give you an example of this research-based approach to save money on skincare. So let's just say that you have really oily skin, you are struggling with acne, and you're trying to figure out what you can buy for a very low price that will help you to deal with that. You do your research, you stumble upon the ingredient bentonite clay. Bentonite clay is a very well-recognized, well-researched ingredient that does target both of those concerns, and you can find it in masks that range from $15 to $300. But you as a smart researcher have realized, I don't need to pay $250 for a bentonite clay mask, I just need bentonite clay. So you go online, you do your research, and you find a product known as Aztec Secret Indian Healing Clay. This is actually a really popular product in certain skincare communities because you know what? It works, because bentonite clay works. And this right here is 15.5 ounces of pure bentonite clay. You can grab this for $8 at Target, $5 at some stores. You know, again, it's a real simple product, but you've boiled down the one ingredient that you need the most. Sure, you could spend extra and get products that have all kinds of other ingredients in them, but that's the one ingredient that you need to focus on. So again, that's just an example of how you as a smart researcher can save a ton of money when you understand what's going on in products. But I do have a second approach for this as well, and that's to sculpt a routine based off of your own experiences. Now, I like to be realistic about things, so I really want to be upfront about the fact that I recognize this is a fairly US-centric approach. You know, not only can you walk into any Sephora in the entire country and get free samples of any skincare product you're curious about, but we've also got the easiest access to Ipsy, Birchbox, any of those services that'll make getting little samples into your home really easy and really affordable. But you know, I've always had this inner conflict about those subscription services because usually they're sold to people who are on a budget and they're introducing you to really expensive skincare that sometimes you fall in love with. Now, if that's your case, you have found the right video because I'm going to teach you how to break down those ingredients in those products and replicate them for less. For our example of this investigative approach to saving money, we're going to take a product that I found through a subscription box and absolutely fell in love with and spent a lot of money on these throughout my years of skincare. And this product is none other than the very popular Ole Henriksen Truth Serum. I have said it before and I will say it again, serums are your treatment. This was a very, very effective treatment for me. Even before I really had a deeper understanding of skincare, I knew that this was helping me to deal with hyperpigmentation on my skin, acne production. But now we're older and we're wiser, and we're going to open up this ingredients list and see if we can find an alternative to this that costs less money. Alright, so I'm going to pop the ingredients up on the screen so you can see what I'm looking at. Now, I'm on the Sephora website, which means you can see that little bullet list at the top. Those are kind of helpful because they show what the brand wants to highlight from the product, the ingredients that they're claiming are special, but also kind of annoying because they use terminology that's not anything of real meaning. So right here you see this True C complex. Well, that in itself doesn't mean anything, but it is telling you that this product clearly contains a form of vitamin C. So now that you are becoming a researcher yourself, you can look down in that ingredients list and see sodium ascorbyl phosphate is the second ingredient. Now you know that that is a form of vitamin C. There's a ton of different forms of vitamin C, and they're all a little bit different. Sodium ascorbyl phosphate is a more stable form than ascorbic acid, and there's some limited research to show that that might actually be a better option if you struggle with acne. So possibly that form of vitamin C was so helpful in me fighting my own acne. So let's stick with it. We want to use that sodium ascorbyl phosphate. Alright, so then we see collagen. Now collagen's tricky because collagen as a molecule is actually kind of large. It doesn't really penetrate into the skin. At the very least, you'd need a hydrolyzed form of collagen, which means it's cut up. Preferably, you'd want to push it further into the skin with maybe some type of enzymes, but collagen on its own, it's not really all that helpful. I think it's real easy for that word to get buzzword-y, for lack of better phrasing, because people do kind of know, or at least they've heard somewhere, that what is aging? It's the loss of collagen in the skin. It corresponds with less elasticity in your skin. But maybe rather than just putting that on your skin, maybe you need to figure out ways to increase the production of collagen in your skin. Now, interestingly, you can do that. And in fact, ingredients like vitamin C may help. Certain plant extracts may help. Ginseng comes to mind. So since you now know that that's not really anything to focus on, we'll just move along and you see orange and green tea extracts. Okay, green tea is actually an ingredient I really like to see in my own skincare. It means you're going to get a ton of antioxidants. As far as orange though, that can get tricky, especially if you are getting a lot of sun exposure, since any kind of citrus oils are going to increase your photosensitivity, so maybe you don't want to use orange oils in your skincare. And then finally, they're highlighting aloe juice. This is actually really smart because vitamin C can be a little bit sensitizing on the skin. So if you've got an ingredient like aloe, which is a soothing ingredient, then it's going to make the product feel more comfortable when you apply this. Another example of this would be Pixie's Glow Tonic. Pixie's Glow Tonic is just a glycolic toner, not really all that different from the ordinary 7% glycolic toner, but the difference is Pixie uses aloe as their very second ingredient in Glow Tonic, which means, of course, it's going to be more comfortable on the skin. All right, so we've got the core information that we need to replicate this for less. We know we want a sodium ascorbyl phosphate serum, and we also want some green tea, and we also want some aloe. So you type all those ingredients into your Google, you look around for what options you have out there, and lo and behold, you stumble upon the Mad Hippie Vitamin C Serum. Is this sounding familiar? Because this is actually exactly how it worked for me. Let's pop open that ingredients list and take a look. We've got deionized water. Sodium ascorbyl phosphate is the second ingredient, just like in the True Serum. You also see aloe in here, in fact, even hyaluronic acid. It's got some citrus in it in the form of grapefruit, so it's pretty close. Really, the only thing you're missing is that green tea, except this is $33.99 for an ounce instead of $48. Now with skincare, you're never going to find a product that's formulated the exact same for obviously legal reasons, but you can figure out what to do to replicate that yourself, whether that's building a serum yourself from these different ingredients or incorporating the ingredients into other parts of your skincare. For this example, I thought I'd kind of keep it easy and maybe go with another product, incorporating that green tea elsewhere. I went to Korean beauty brands because I know Korean beauty brands use a lot of plant ingredients, in fact a lot of green tea, and it did not take me long at all to find the balancing toner with green tea from the brand Innisfree. Now you open up this ingredients list and you see it is a beautiful formula. It's got your green tea in it. It's going to be hydrating, which in my opinion, is far superior to most of the more astringent toners out there. And this retails for this is currently $13 on Amazon for 200 milliliters. So now you've managed to incorporate 2 skincare products into your routine for less than the price of one that is going to give you the same exact benefits and results. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I know it's a lot less of a kind of taking you by the hand and doing the work for you and a lot more of a fly free little birdie. But you know, like I said in the beginning of this video, skincare is just so personal that I think it's your best bet. Thanks so much for watching, and if you did find this video helpful, please make sure to give it a like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time, hopefully with a little bit better sounding of a voice. Peace out, YouTube.